Good afternoon. Remember when recruitment advertising was a key revenue stream for local media? TownNews, in partnership with Recruitology, is helping put media organizations back at top of mind for local employers with a suite of AI-powered programmatic job advertising solutions that deliver big revenue. At this special webinar for TownNews broadcast customers, Recruitology's Kat Haddad and our own Corinne Rui will show you how Recruitology's white-labeled solutions can help you grab a big piece of your local job advertising market. The webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to all attendees before the end of the day tomorrow. Please feel free to type any questions you may have into the questions box and we'll answer them at the end. Take it away, Kat and Corinne.
Hi there, welcome everyone. We're super excited to be able to share this partnership with you today and to talk a little bit about how you all can make some money and reclaim the local job advertising market through our partnership. I'm gonna move through the slides here again. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in and we'll pause and answer those as they come in. First, want to kind of explain our partnership, a little bit about who we are. Recruitology is we are an AI-driven, as Erin said, technology partner of TownNews, and we do everything through white label. So your brand, your local brand is strong, and we are going to leverage that with our AI so that you can serve employers in your area and help them find the candidates that they so desperately need. We have a bunch of different solutions that I'm going to walk through with you today. And then TownNews, obviously, they also offer innovative solutions. We'll be able to couple them together to really get you the best results. I'm going to take for a moment to just share some stats that we have for, recruitment is a tough field right now. Job seekers have many choices of where they go to look for a position, and we're gonna put you guys right in the mix there. The stats here on this slide: about 56% of job seekers utilize web search. They go to Google, they type in their job category, and they search for a job that way. About 60% of them are also putting their resume on free resume databases. 60% say they found out through openings on social media, and almost 70% are still going to job boards. So the good news here is that while they have many choices, we're able to provide you solutions and put you in front of them where they're looking. I wanted to also talk a little bit about how cost per hire has changed dramatically recently, especially. Last year, the average cost to hire across all positions was about $4,425 per employee to hire. It's a huge expense for companies to hire folks, and it's important for them to find the right people because onboarding is also expensive. So the other thing, it takes quite a while right now. I think, Corinne, and you mentioned earlier, and the stat was, it was almost like 2,000, maybe 3 years ago. So it's almost double what it used to be. Is that correct? The number that yep. Okay. Also, it takes a while.
At 1,200, which is crazy.
Yeah. So 1,200 just a couple of years ago. Now it's more expensive for employers to hire. They have to be in more places. They have to be a little bit more savvy and understand where job seekers are looking. They also have to understand that it takes a little bit of time to fill a position. They can't just throw a sign in a window and say, hey, come work for us. It's going to take them over a month, up to 42 days and longer to fill the average position. They're also getting very competitive about what they're doing to secure employees. You're going to see them getting aggressive about job distribution. They're offering hiring bonuses, whatever they can do to set themselves apart from the competition to get those folks. Another stat that isn't on the slide, but I think the stat from, it was either January, December, there are almost 2 open positions for every person in the United States right now. So it's super competitive, and you guys are going to be able to help your employers, your local businesses hire. I think the next slide here, this is a very simplistic view of the problem. So as I mentioned earlier, there are many places that job seekers go to look for jobs. For the employer, that means they need to know, do I need to post on CareerBuilder? Do I post on Craigslist? Do I post on Indeed and Monster? And once I start looking at all the places that I need to spend money, it gets very exorbitant very quickly. So the problem that you all are going to be offering them through us is super simple. One posting, we get their jobs, you get their jobs out in front of on all the right aggregators, in front of all kinds of different audiences, just with posting one time. So they don't have to go separately to each of those different services and pay separate posting fees. They're going to do it once through you. And these are just they aren't actual costs. Obviously, this is just to illustrate the concept, but really they're not going to have to go to all the different places separately. They're going to post one time through you and you're going to help them out. This is exactly what this is all about. So the main product we have is called Next Recruit, and it is a programmatic job distribution. So your employers will post one time. We are going to take their job posting, programmatically distribute it to a whole list of sites included in our Max Recruit network. You see some of them there on the screen: Indeed, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, Jobs to Careers, and Next. We'll send an initial bid out to all of the sites, and then through a CPC model, we're going to distribute. We're going to actively monitor their jobs across all of the sites and optimize the budget associated with that job to drive the best results. So they're not the standard 30-day postings on each of these sites. It's the CPC model where we're going to move their job in front of the folks that are converting to actual applicants. So they're not wasting money sitting on certain job boards for 30 days at a time. So I'm not sure if I should pause for questions at any point, or if you want to just let me know when they come in, that's fine as well. Feel free to jump in if there are questions. I'm not able to see if there are.
You're good to go, Kat. You might want to
Okay.
explain what CPC is. I think that would be a good
Yeah,
idea.
sorry about that. CPC is cost per click model. So with our postings, again, they're not going to sit on. You're not going to pay for a job slot on an Indeed or on a ZipRecruiter. We're going to take the budget associated with your employer's jobs. We're going to send out bids to all those sites, and then your employers are only paying. The budget is only being deducted when someone actually clicks on those jobs. So it's a little more dynamic. We're able to have more flexibility that way, and we're able to get their jobs in front of the right audiences based on the job title and the market that they're in. We also have a whole host of other products, some of which you see here. These would be our niche networks. So we will post your employer's job for 30 days. We do have duration-based job postings, and we have a number of different networks to do this. We have a college entry level network where if your employer is looking for newer employees, people with less than 2 years of experience, you could add the college entry level network for them. And then their job would be on a whole list of sites that target that audience for 30 days. We have a green employers network, our diversity network that targets a diverse audience, veterans network that goes after that audience of veterans. And then we have the social network, which I believe we're going to talk about a little bit more in depth in a moment. But as I mentioned on the slide previously, social plays a big part in candidates job seeking right now. So our social network gets your employer's jobs on LinkedIn and Twitter, where folks are actively looking for jobs. So couple that with our, that programmatic job distribution through the Max Recruit, and you really get a broad reach that's also specialized. A little more detail on that social job network. As I mentioned, their jobs are going to be distributed to Twitter and LinkedIn. They look a little bit different. They're both in the active areas where folks are actively looking for jobs. On Twitter, their jobs are going to go out under our brand nationwide job search. We're going to take their job posting. We're going to create custom hashtags, insert appropriate images, and then those are going to be searchable by job type and category. So their jobs will appear to folks on Twitter who are searching for those types of positions. On LinkedIn, the jobs are going to be displayed via the job section of LinkedIn, and then to that company's LinkedIn profile page if they have one as well. So they get the social aspect in addition to all of the top aggregators if they coupled it. We also are able to put your employer's jobs on CareerBuilder. CareerBuilder is, a name you probably recognize. Tons of applicants are still looking here. It's good for basically any type of position. They have a very wide reach. We will post their job on CareerBuilder to try to get them in front of that audience as well. And CareerBuilder, they have matching technology that also helps match the candidate with the best positions. And it really just gives them one more place to be in front of the correct candidates for their job title and open position. So from you guys, so we touched real high level on the products. Let me go back here for just a second. We have a lot of different products, but those are the ones that we feel are going to drive really solid results really quickly for your companies in your local markets. And how it's going to work from the partnership level, what's going to happen is, should you choose to jump on board, your rep sells a job ad. They're going to place it on Recruitology, where they'll pick a package. We've already created some great packages that I'll get to in a moment. And then your sales reps are going to fulfill the package in our portal, and then the jobs go out online to all of those places that I just mentioned. So it's very simple. There's nothing, not too many extra steps for you all. It's pretty simple and straightforward. They just fulfill it through our employer portal. And then when it goes online, it's all under your white label brand. So that's the most important thing here, is that you guys are the players in your market that people trust for news and information, for all kinds of things. So we're going to leverage your local brand. We don't promote the Recruitology brand here. It's all under your local brand on your job board. We'll build the job boards for you. You're going to get your employer's jobs out to all of the top places where they're going to be able to find candidates. And as I mentioned, we have set up some packages that we know drive results, and they're very, very simple. We have 5 different packages that we have kind of preset. Again, you can always add products a la carte should you want to for any given position. But we have something called the Max package. That's going to be Max Recruit, which is that first programmatic job distribution product we spoke about. We've also added into that the social network to get folks jobs on LinkedIn and Twitter, our diversity and our veterans network. And resale price, the best part of all this is that it's a high margin for you. 40% of these of the margin goes to you all. Retail price on these is on the Max package is $210. Wholesale would be $126. And then as the packages get progressively larger, more robust, we add elements to each. We have AC Max that takes everything from the Max package, adds the college network, AC Max Gold, which would then add it would take our Max Recruit Gold rather than just plain Max Recruit, which means that the Max Recruit comes in different levels. We would just put a little bit more budget, our Gold budget behind that. AC Max Platinum is a little bit higher budget for AC or for Max Recruit, in addition to those other solutions. And then we also decided to do one that has what we call the CareerBuilder combo package that couples a CareerBuilder posting with the other networks that we've mentioned. The other thing I want to make sure and mention here that will hopefully help your sales reps is we have associated a spiff for your sales teams for selling each of these products. So again, as we add elements and the packages get more, higher cost, the sales reps have the ability to earn a spiff on each of the packages. It's $15 for the basic Max package, all the way up to $30 for the AC Max Platinum. And those go directly to your sales reps for selling these solutions. And again, a highlight, it's a really good margin for you all, and very simple. So simple and effective. Let me move on here. So we just kind of wanted to give a quick, what's in it for me, I know is what I would be listening for. So, I'm throwing a bunch of numbers out there. If your team just sold 10 of the very basic Max packages at $210 each, that's $2,100 in revenue per month. 25 Max packages, and those are our basic packages. 25 of those would be over $5,000 a month. 50 packages would be $10,500 a month. And what we tend to see is most, most of the time they're not going to sell that very basic package. So these are super conservative estimates of what revenue you could expect here with this solution. Trying to see. I guess, man, we didn't have too many questions along the way. But the best part of all this is you have our whole entire team. You have the Town News team, you have us at Recruitology. I'm the only one showing there, but behind the scenes, you'll have a whole team of folks here. You have Debbie and Nick and Corinne, all of whom you can go to for assistance with this. We'll provide training, super simple implementation process. What else can I add here, Corinne?
I think, Kat, mainly like for the group on the call to know today is our intention is to make this all extremely easy. So if you don't have a jobs board, that's something that the Town News team is going to really take off your plate behind the scenes. But all in all, the reason that we're bringing this partnership with Recruitology to the table for everyone on the call is because it works. This is a really good solution for your clients, and it's fulfilling a need that they have right now. And of course, the benefit to everyone on the call is it also is going to generate some revenue for the markets that you're within. What we found just in the past in regards to client success is that they've been able to spend less with just as good of results, if not better results. So as you're having conversations with your clients, you can just know that there's been a lot done behind the scenes to ensure that this is something that is going to work, help them save time. And they all of these HR directors need a way to increase their efficiency. So that's what this is bringing to the table. For those of you on the phone or on the webinar today, take a peek at how many job openings there are in your markets. Like, it's hard for us to go anywhere without seeing a now hiring sign in someone's window. So if we can help them out, which I know we can, this would be a really great solution for you on the call.
I'm going to add one more thing, Corinne, and I think this is an appropriate place to do it. I know what I at Recruitology am responsible for broadcast partnerships. So I work with broadcast partners, and I've mentioned sales reps a few times. I don't know if all of you are set up to have sales reps being able to sell this product. There is a self-serve element of this as well. So the job board will come with the portal where you can fulfill if your sales teams are selling these solutions. And also there's the ability to just drive folks via promotion to the self-serve site. And then you just simply let it, there's two different ways that your employers can utilize the solutions. I think that was, yeah. Do we have any questions at all?
They must have it. They got it.
Yeah, I think you did a great job of explaining it, because no questions have come in so far. One question that we can answer right here is, how do you get started? Contact Debbie Nelson at 773-418-0355 or recruitology@townnews.com. We'll get to her as well. Corinne, can you talk at all about what the implementation looks like for Town News customers? Like, how quick and easy is this to get launched on the site?
I'm actually going to throw that at Kat as far as the how much time it'll take, because we have been onboarding people very quickly. So if you have a motivated sales staff or have some clients in mind, I mean, it's something that we can really start pounding out here in the next couple of days. A job board, however, that piece, just building that out is going to take a little bit longer. So just know you can hit the ground running from the sales standpoint of it, but it's just your own jobs board on your own site will take a little bit of time there.
Right.
And I think I was going to say, Kat, too, for like the broadcast group, I think the greatest compliment this provides to what y'all offer currently is being able to get an active job seeker, someone who is looking for a position, and being able to do that in a really efficient way. So a lot of us have been in marketing for a really long time, and recruitment is not any different when you're looking at their strategy, which is how do I get in front of a passive job seeker, catch them on a bad day, so to speak, with this great and expanded reach. But then for those actively seeking a job, how do I efficiently get in front of them and get them to apply? So that's where, when you're looking at a recruitment strategy for your clients, this becomes a match made in heaven because of that.
Right. And to kind of add to what Corinne said about, the implementation process is it from a very high level, there's two pieces that go to it. Sales, as she mentioned, we can get that rolling quickly, and you can start helping your employers get their jobs out through our distribution networks. And the job board piece of it takes just a little bit longer, but that process will be very streamlined as well. What will happen is we'll provide you with a checklist. We'll need some assets, artwork and things like that. We'll need for the white labeling aspect of it. Again, it's still not going to be a long drawn out process, but one with the sales, we can get going relatively quickly within a couple of days, a day or two, once we get you set up. And then the job board will just take maybe, I don't want to promise, but up to maybe a week or two to get, if we have back and forth. So it's a pretty simple fulfillment process, and you'll work with the Town News crew to do that part of it.
Yeah, and I think as sales managers, what we all like is this is also a pretty easy sale for our sales reps. So that is always a win. Something that's easy for them to sell and really works for our clients.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank
All
you.
right, Aaron,
very much.
I don't think we've missed anything, right?
No.
Looking in all the places.
Yep, I am too. And it looks like we're good. Again, to get started, please contact Debbie Nelson at 773-418-0355 or recruitology@townnews.com today. Thank you very much, Kat and Corinne, for this great introduction to Recruitology for Broadcast. Any final words before we sign off?
Just thank you. Looking forward to partnering with you all.
Yes, thanks so much to everyone for your time, and we will talk to you again soon.